The best fights of the weekend. Thursday, June 5th. Thursday's event in Montreal was initially expected to feature a couple of interesting bouts, but less than a week before the fight night, several changes were officially confirmed in form of uneven matches in which the undefeated fighters are overwhelming favorites. Light heavyweights Albert Ramirez and Mehmet Unal will face Michael Allen Flannery and Jan Cherkowicz, respectively. Super lightweight Arthur Bayarslanov will fight Antonio Collado, and welterweight Christopher Guerrero will face Williams Andres Herrera. This event will be broadcast on ESPN+. Friday, June 6th. Friday's most notable card will take place in the United States and will be broadcast on DAZN. It will be headlined by the clash between American heavyweights Brandon Moore and Stanley Wright. The former was considered a prospect until he was thrashed by Richard Torres Jr., and the latter is coming off an unexpected win against an undefeated fighter. So, while neither fighter will likely reach the level of the division's top 15, it's a fight with some interest and will allow the winner to secure a good opportunity in the near future. In the undercard, lightweight Joshua James Pagan will fight in his second 10-round bout against James Bernardin, and junior middleweight Joseph Hicks will face his biggest test to date against Wendy Tuisant. Also on Friday, British junior middleweight Josh Kelly will headline a Channel 5 televised event in which he should theoretically obtain an easy win against Romanian Flavius Bia. In another American event broadcast on DAZN, young lightweight Antonio Perez will look to further expand his experience against the seasoned but inconsistent Alex Martin. Saturday, June 7th. Although the match between Heisa and Corte looks like the typical bout of a small promotional company that organizes meaningless fights, the Queensberry Promotions event will offer some interesting bouts on its Saturday card broadcast on DAZN. In the main event, British heavyweight Fabio Wardley, who has definitely become a major player after destroying Fraser Clarke, will face undefeated Australian prospect Justice Huni. Comparing their performances and the level of opposition they have faced, Clarke should be able to pull off a solid victory, although whoever emerges victorious will have practically guaranteed a world title eliminator. In the undercard of this match, standout Irish super lightweight prospect Pierce O'Leary will be the clear favorite to be crowned European champion against Liam Dillon, and veteran former world cruiserweight challenger Mike Perez, who wants to reach a new big fight, will have his most significant clash since 2017 against Stephen Ward. How is it possible for a boxer who hasn't fought in over a year and a half and is coming off a loss to gain access to a world championship fight? The answer is corruption and the strange relationship between Top Rank and the WBO. This is why WBO lightweight champion Keyshawn Davis will face Edwin de Los Santos, against whom he shouldn't allow himself to achieve anything less than a crushing victory. On the undercard of this ESPN Plus card, lightweight Abdullah Mason will look to score another knockout against Jeremiah Nakathila, who hasn't fought in a demanding fight since being knocked out by Maratala and Mercado in 2023. Super lightweight prospect Kelvin Davis will take a step up against his fellow countryman Nahir Albright, and middleweight Troy Isley will do the same against Brazilian Ataundi Michel, who in 2023 unexpectedly defeated world title challenger Jorge Chino Garcia. The European Super Middleweight Championship, which will headline a boxer event televised by Sky from the UK, looks like a worthwhile fight. In this duel, two undefeated punchers, local boxer Callum Simpson and Italian Ivan Zucco, will face off in a, potentially exciting, decisive test that will determine which of them will become another contender in the highly contested division striving to reach a very elusive title shot at the undisputed crown. As for the undercard, also unbeaten super middleweight Mark Jeffers will remain ready for a big step up, maybe against the winner of the main event, facing American Sean Hemphill, while featherweight Reese Edwards will look to bounce back from his first loss to Peter McGrail clashing against the experienced and tough Thomas Asamba. These other fights will also take place on Saturday. Beatriz Ferreira and Maria Ines Ferreira will face each other for the IBF lightweight title in an event broadcast on DAZN. Michael Angeletti and Eros Correa will square off in a good bantamweight bout and Justin Paldo will face the resistant Juan Carlos Burgos. These matches will be broadcast on YouTube. Heavyweight prospect Murad Aliyev and European champion Labanat Hoxage, who won the title in a big upset, will face off in an event broadcast on DAZN. Sunday, June 8th. Top 10 pound-for-pound fighter Junto Nakatani will seek to reach another milestone to his already extraordinary career in an unification of the WBC IBF bantamweight titles against his compatriot Ryosuke Nishida. In the matchup between these two undefeated Japanese fighters, Nakatani will inevitably be the clear favorite as, although Nishida is a talented southpaw, the three-division champion seems to be too good for the vast majority of boxers in the lighter divisions. This interesting card, broadcast on ESPN Plus from Japan, will also feature a decisive duel in the access to a world title fight at bantamweight between Tenshin Nasukawa and Victor Santillan, and the second professional bout for standout bantamweight prospect Tomoya Tsuboi against Van Tao-Tran. There will also be a world title at stake in the Matchroom and DAZN event from Australia, in which IBF cruiserweight champion Jai Opataya will defend his title against Italian Claudio Squeo. It's understandable that a titleholder doesn't only face high-risk fights, but choosing Squeo as a challenger is going a step too far, as he shouldn't even be ranked, having achieved the biggest win of his career against Nicholas Rasanen by narrow margin, controversially and suffering a knockdown. In the undercard, super welterweight Ben Mahoney will face competent Venezuelan journeyman Eddie Colmenares. Finally, in Italy, broadcast on DAZN and ESPN+, depending on the country, cruiserweight Fabio Turchi will try to return to the world rankings, and score his first victory against an opponent with a positive record since 2021, fighting for a WBO minor title against Latvian Milan Volkovs, who is coming off an unexpected victory in the United Kingdom. Also on the evening, undefeated featherweight Simone Rao will face his first professional hard test against the skillful and much more experienced Francesco Grandelli, who will look to stabilize his career after having suffered 3 losses in his last 3 relevant fights. Thanks for watching. More info on our website.